Hey, it's meteorologist Cory Reppenhagen here with the 9 News Weather Impact Team. Taking a look at your forecast, and we're going to flip the weather pattern over completely. We're going to have hot, dry, and windy conditions here in the state of Colorado. When you look at the weather pattern, this very strong high pressure system down to our southeast, that's not too unusual for this late in June. But this storm system, this low pressure system, very strong, very cold, very unusual for late June, and it's going to have some strange impacts across the west. Look at the alerts that we have. We have a winter storm warning in place. More than a foot of snow will be possible in parts of the Montana and Idaho mountains. Down to the south where the jet stream's going over, all these pink shaded areas, that's the fire weather. That's what Colorado's impact will be. And we already have at least one heat advisory on the board down there in West Texas. Going through the weekend, that's going to stay. That whole weather pattern is going to hold, and we'll stay breezy under the jet stream. Right now, it does not look like this low pressure system is going to bring Colorado any cool air or any significant moisture. So just hot, dry, windy. Here's the forecast across the Front Range on Saturday. We're looking at middle 90s across the board, upper 90s in some spots like Greeley, hundreds out here in the southeast. A very warm day across the western slope where it'll be even windier, and that's why the bigger concern is for fire weather out there. We have red flag fire weather warnings in place both Saturday and Sunday. A sustained light wind along with 50-mile-per-hour gusts. Humidity's in the 11 to 18%. We won't be quite as dry or gusty out here on our side of the state, but very close to fire weather criteria. So be very careful out there with anything that can cause a spark. Here's the forecast wind gusts here Saturday afternoon. 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts in the foothills and 15 to 30 mile per hour wind gusts on the Front Range and on the eastern plains. Going into Sunday, about the same, maybe a little bit less wind, but it'll still be fairly persistent, fairly noticeable, and that will contribute to fire danger even outside of any warned areas. Let's take a look at Futurecast here over the next couple of days. We're not going to see too much cloud cover and very little precipitation. Here we are at 4 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. Front Range stays dry, maybe a little clouds and moisture up in the northwest part of the state, and maybe a thunderstorm out in the northeast, but otherwise we stay clear and dry. Sunday morning starts out super nice and super clear across the entire state of Colorado. Very little in the way of cloud cover, so it's going to be a hot weekend. Here's your 7-day forecast here in Denver. 94 degrees, hot, breezy conditions. It looks like we could hold 90-degree temperatures all the way across the week, and it'll spike again right before we get to next weekend. So we stay very hot, very dry, and very little chance for precipitation through the next 7-day period. That is your forecast. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you all have a nice weekend.